Well, research shows that there's an interesting need for employers to better understand challenges facing working mothers to retain their skills while on maternity leave. According to a 2015 study by Citrix, one of the ways companies could do this is to introduce remote working. It also states that this form of working could add 17 billion rand to the country's economy. So as Women's Month draws to a close, to discuss this further, we're joined by Amanda Rogaly. She is a mother, entrepreneur and founder of Baby Yum Yum. Good to have you in studio.
Thank
Welcome
you,
to
Leanne.
Morning
Thank
Live.
you. Morning to your viewers.
So, I mean, we talk about maternity and it does have an influence and an effect on companies, but you tell us a little bit more. How is the influence on it?
You know, I think a lot of women have been almost put into a box where they are concerned about taking maternity leave. You know, they fear they might come back and their job mightn't be available for them anymore, or they might miss a promotion because they might need to go on maternity leave. And that is something that's definitely been there and it is still there, but I definitely find corporates are changing. Corporates are becoming more accepting of women in the workplace, in executive positions, number one. And secondly, they are becoming more accepting and more accommodating in terms of women and their families. You know, if you look at it, the population is made up of 51% in South Africa, 51% women, and out of that, 45% of the workforce is in fact females. So we need to be catering for females so that they can take that opportunity to have maternity leave, to actually be a mother and contribute to society, to economy at the same time.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't matter what way you look at it. It's a difficult time in a new mother's life.
Absolutely.
Because as you say, there is that threat that you take the maternity leave, maybe they found somebody better to replace you. How are you going to come back into it? How are you going to break the news to your boss? How are you going to, I mean, you know, pregnancy is a very normal thing, and yet it is quite daunting for any new mother. But how do we get over that? Are we getting over it? I mean, you were saying we are changing.
We are, but I definitely think it starts at the top. It starts with management and it filters down. It's wonderful for government to push certain things, saying that you need to have this amount of maternity leave and this amount of due breastfeeding. You know, and just on that note, I mean, the government promotes breastfeeding up until 6 months, exclusive breastfeeding, but maternity leave is only 4 months.
Exactly.
So what do you do with the other 2 months?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's in corporate's hands to try and make those last 2 months accommodating and easy for the mother. And there's so many things. I mean, you can employ women and base them on flexi time so that they are able to be in the workplace but also be looking after their families at the same time. And it's very important, I think, that when women come into the workplace, that they are their heads are focused at work and they know that their families are taken care of, that they'll see them later in the afternoon so that they don't have that pressure. Some of the other things, you know, that we advocate as well from Baby Yum Yum side, and after speaking to a lot of our followers on our platform and our experts, is a lot of people are asking for creches at their workplace.
Yes.
So that if your child is sick or if you need to have your child with you at work, your child is downstairs, they're just a few steps away, so you can actually look after your children in that type of environment. And as we spoke about remote working, do you really need to go into the office for so many different jobs? Obviously a lot of jobs you have to be office based, but I think it's a great way of getting women to work and to be productive in terms of doing flexi time.
Well, that is a big thing, because a lot of companies, I mean, I don't think you necessarily need to be pregnant and breastfeeding and a mother to have to work remotely. There are certain jobs, obviously, you have to be present. I mean, I'd love to be able to present Morning Live from my bed, but I don't think anyone would appreciate that.
Just wear your slippers and just wear a nice shirt.
I don't think it'll happen, but there are certain jobs where, you know, your heart is at home, everything's at home. And I speak to many of my female friends that know that they can actually be a lot more productive doing the work remotely at home. They are part of the entire network on their computer, but they're sitting at home and they're looking after their baby and they're being a lot more productive. How many more companies are actually going this route?
A lot of companies are, and as Baby Yum Yum, we are actually being called into a lot of corporates to come and baby size areas within certain companies. So to build the creche areas, to build feeding facilities, changing facilities, to make sure that women's needs in terms of taking care of their families are actually looked after. You know, different rooms that we provide for mothers for different needs, and that's really growing. And also, you know, restaurant chains as well, they're now starting to provide for all of those needs for mothers and for families as well.
Yeah, you know, one of the big concerns as well, and perhaps you can talk to us about this, is I've also you know, met a lot of mothers who were exceptionally good at their jobs, very professional. But because the work environment is not conducive to them being mothers, they decide, well, okay, I'm actually just going to resign and quit working and maybe find myself in a very different field altogether, and then you lose that skill. are we finding that certain industries are losing female skills due to the fact that their policies are not good enough?
I think that there's pros and cons behind that. A lot of women leave, they take their skill with them, but they find that their entrepreneurial spirit and they start other things that they never ever would have started had they not have been in that position. And alternatively, yes, I do feel that some certain skills are being lost, and I think that it's very important to try and maintain females in the workplace. So important for the longevity of women in the workplace and for our economy as well.
Are there some companies, just to wrap it up, that we can look to as sort of like a beacon and say, man, this is how we should be operating, this is how you should look after women in the workplace?
I think that there really are a lot that are at the forefront at the moment. I mean, a lot of corporates, Vodacom, DSTV, Discovery, they're all trying to implement these environments that are suitable for women, in fact, to work in and engage in.
Yeah, good. I'm happy to hear that.
Absolutely.
So South Africa is being progressive, and we are getting better. I mean, it's a nice conversation. If you'd like to write to us, quickly let us know. Are you a mother, new mother? You found going back to work great, and that your company is there for you and they're helping you as much as possible? Or you're finding, this has been the most difficult thing for me, and I've actually had to give up and find alternative work. Or, as we've heard our guests saying, become a great entrepreneur and develop your own thing. Amanda Rogaly, thank you for talking to us. Mother, entrepreneur and founder of Baby Yum Yum. Thanks for talking to us on the program.
Thanks.
All right, let's take a break. We'll see you after this to say goodbye.